Lost on Lost Season 2, baby!
Hell yeah!
We've watched Seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Lost, and we've learned a lot.
Did we?
And we've learned to love Jack, Kate, Sawyer, Boone, and Claire.
Did we?
But now it's time for Seasons 4, 5, and 6.
That's right, we're still going to talk about the mysteries and mythologies of the island.
And obviously hot tropical hookups.
But now we're going to talk about things like the freighter,
The Others,
Charles Widmore,
The Lighthouse,
time travel,
9/11,
Ronald Reagan,
the Catholic Church,
Titus,
gold chains,
the military-industrial complex,
the prison industrial complex,
the void,
the orb,
and so much more.
So strap on and strap down, because if you thought last season was confusing,
This is going to be so much worse. Or better if you like being lost on Lost. Strap on?
you heard me.
Ooh, welcome everybody to Lost on Lost. Hey, I'm JP Russell, and I'm joined as always by a man who is hydrated. Always hydrated. Adam Busher.
That's me, baby. I'm always drinking water. I'm pissing every 20 minutes. It's the only way to live. It gets you out of a lot of work.
You do be pissing.
I'm always in the bathroom,
Yeah.
pissing.
Well, Adam, when you're not in the bathroom, do you ever entertain maybe like I don't know, like a guest?
Yeah. It's like the other thing I do. It's like when I'm not pissing, I'm entertaining. And so
There's a Venn diagram that's just entertaining guests and pissing.
Yep. And in the middle, that center wedge is our guest. Today's guest, dear old friend of ours from way back in the day. Welcome to the Lost podcast world, Sam Mark.
Woo!
Hey, I'm really happy to be here, you guys, and I am honored to be that very large wedge between those two circles in your Venn diagram. So
Yeah, we'll see if we can change that over the course of the next 90 minutes.
they're almost the same circle, to be honest.
yeah.
But yeah,
Wait, so you're also in the piss circle?
it's like you think it's two circles, but it's actually just barely two circles.
Okay, all right.
We're happy to have you. Welcome to the show.
What an intro.
Adam and I know Sam from the good old days of the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh, baby. And Sam, you were in the film program.
I was an RTF major at Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Moved out to Los Angeles out of college and hung out with Busher out there for several years. I said goodbye to JP when I did that, and this might be the first time I've talked to you since college.
No, absolutely not. We got to share the stage together for one night at Backlot Comedy House.
You're right. That's very true, and that was a phenomenal night. Yeah.
I was just generally upset with you with how effortlessly funny you are compared to the rest of our mouth-breathing cast.
It had to have been the room and your energy that I got it from. So other than that,
Let's be honest here. I mean, there's a pretty wide gap between improv training in Los Angeles and improv training in Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
In Oshkosh, they would have me on stage, which is already speaks to sort of the quality.
I mean, I think you elevated that entire county in terms of improv. And, shout out to Kyla for spearheading it and bringing improv to Oshkosh.
It was wonderful.
And having to succeed, you know. So
Before that, it was just people lying in court, you know.
yeah, exactly.
Which is a type of improv.
Bunch of RTF students running around trying to film their short films about how sad they were.
Yeah.
You know, so.
and refusing to cast the actors that were down the hallway doing auditions for plays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hey, you were always in a play.
That's true. I was always in a play. Get some of the lesser talent. They're out there. They're out there not doing the stuff I was doing.
That's fair. That's fair. So, Sam, allegedly, we're here to talk about the ABC television program Lost. Fill us in a little bit about your background with the show. Were you a fan? Have you never watched it? Where are we at?
So I had lost PTSD. Watched the whole show back when it was on air.
Yeah.
You couldn't. I mean, you could DVR at that point, but
DVR was there. Yeah.
But I remember watching it, and then the end happened, and I was just kind of like, "What did you do to me for these last 6 years or whatever it was on?"
Sure.
I've always appreciated. I think the pilot is one of the. Not that this is the episode we're talking about, but the pilot is like one of the best pilots in TV history, I think.
Absolutely.
I don't know if the pilot was any good. He did crash the plane.
In terms of pilot safety, not a great episode. But
Pilot the character, not great. Pilot the episode, amazing.
Oh, dude, pilot the episode rips real hard.
But I mean, I guess if it wasn't for the pilot, that show wouldn't have even happened.
Yeah, good point.
I was reminded, especially with this episode, of like the flash sideways, and I couldn't remember if it was a flash forward or a flash backward. You know, so
Sure.
I'm sure I'll be very like old man time in terms of that stuff. But
so Sam, when you're not rewatching shows that traumatized you greatly, what do you typically watch? Are you movie, TV? You know, what genre? What medium? What are we talking about?
I really hate to be like the boring answer to that, but like I do like a lot of things. I do feel like my genres that usually align up are animation and like horror.
Sure,
I love those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But comedy for sure. So a friend of mine is a co-creator of one of Fox's animated shows called Grimmsburg. It's super hilarious. Matt Schlissel. So definitely check it out. They just had season 2. Their cast is incredible. John Hamm's the lead and stuff like that. But
I love some John Hamm.
You know, I'm for the most part like I love good dramas. So Lost, you know, definitely my wheelhouse. I do love Damon Lindelof. I love The Watchmen that came out for HBO. So
cool.
Now you also have a 2-year-old. So what are you actually watching? Just a lot of Yo Gabba Gabba, or what are we talking about? Bluey?
Miss Rachel.
It's definitely Miss Rachel.
Shout out to Miss Rachel. Hey, if you want to be on the pod, let us know.
You guys want to talk about Lost?
God, I want to talk about Lost.
Let's jump.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's talk about Lost. Today we are talking about episode 4 of season 6 of the televisual program Lost, The Substitute. It is the 107th episode of the show overall, and it originally aired on February 16th, 2010. It was written by Elizabeth Sarnoff and Melinda Sue Taylor, and directed by Tucker Yates. Our centric character is everybody's favorite, not dead, but maybe dead guy, John Locke. The Substitute takes place on the 6th day after the perfect controlled emergency landing of Ajira 316 by Captain Franklin J. Lapidus.
Esquire.
The J is for Joker. The J is for JP. JP.
Yeah.
JP, do you have a recap?
Yeah, I do.
Hit it.
In The Substitute, Jonathan Shale, a Vietnam War veteran and mercenary, goes undercover as a substitute teacher at his girlfriend's high school after she is attacked by a local gang. Shale uses his military skills and street smarts to take control of the class and undercover drug operation within the school, eventually going head-to-head with the gang leader and the principal. They made 4 of those fucking movies. I had to. Sorry. All right, real recap. John! You gotta lean back. You gotta lean back, my guy. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Ow! You want to try again? On the island, Flock makes some friends, makes Richard say uncle, and makes some frankly compelling arguments. In the sideways time, John comes to terms with being wheelchair bound for life. Randy Nations comes to terms with sucking in literally every timeline. And Helen commits to, well, cowgirl / reverse cowgirl for life. Hey, Ben, if you knew you were going to have to dig John's grave, would you have blown him up with a bomb? Let's talk about The Substitute here on Lost on Lost.
Christ.
My boss is like, what are you working on? And I was like, shut up.
Nothing.
Just so everyone knows, all of my notes for this episode, it's like me rediscovering the show as I'm going on. I'm like, oh. That's right, that guy.
Yeah, you're going through all the stages of grief.
Exactly.
Yeah. I went through immediately a stage of happiness because we open and flash forward and John Locke drives a GMC Astro van.
Yeah.
So he pulls up to a house, transfers himself out of the driver's chair and into his wheelchair, opens up the side door and starts flopping out a wheelchair ramp, gets out onto it, locks his brake. He's being safe and making sure that he's doing what he's doing. He's about halfway down and the motor on the ramp peters out on him. That's a shame.
Doesn't call for help.
That sequence was so long. It took forever for him to just be like, I was like, were they just out of footage to edit this episode?
I mean,
there were a bunch of scenes in this episode that had me asking that same question. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of filler in this one.
Was this a 25-page script?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, all right, well, fuck it. I'm just going to jump.
I'm going to do a sick jump.
And predictably eats shit. And then while he's trying to recombobulate himself, he gets blasted in the face with the sprinklers.
Pretty funny.
It's kind of funny.
It was definitely the beginning of like one of those comedy trailers from the 90s. It was like, John Locke had it bad. But then one day, what do you want a trip to Australia? And
Walk the Dinosaur starts playing.
Exactly. Tears for Fears.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Everything we've ever known about John, and it's always the most tragic story. So, of course, the thing breaks. Of course, he gets hit with the sprinkler. But in this timeline, he does win the heart of Helen. She's back, baby.
That's right. Making her first chronological appearance since the season 2 episode Lockdown. Kay Segal back as Helen. Hell yeah.
What a breath of fresh air.
I was so pumped. Yeah, she comes out, she's like, John, what the fuck are you doing?
Dipshit.
The mowing the lawn was look I'm doing. She helps him up, gets him squared away, and takes him inside the house. He's taking a bath, nice little afternoon soak. Helen is on the phone with some wedding vendors. John and Helen are getting married sometime in the near future, and she's talking to a caterer, I think is what she says. And John Locke is in the bathtub looking at some swatches.
Chairback swatches at that.
Yeah.
I mean, JP, you're about to get married. Have you picked your chairback swatch yet?
I have, oddly enough. Helen starts talking about how she's, it's so frustrating. I don't want to talk to any more caterers and photographers and, whatever. And let me tell you, I'm pretty stoked for how our wedding is shaping up. I do now have some mortal enemies that are contractors that we did not go with, that if I ever see them, it's on site. It is on site. No questions asked.
When is that? I got to put that in my calendar so I don't forget.
The
wedding.
The wedding? Oh. I don't know. I think it's on my drill weekend.
She's picking up his clothes off the floor, and a card for Dr. Jack Shepard is there, and she's like, "What's up with this?" And he's like, "Oh, I met a spinal surgeon at the airport.
He was real drunk.
Yeah, he was super super drunk, and I was really really mad about my knives. And he was like, "Hey, I have a savior complex. Call me." And he's like, and I was like, "I'm not gonna do that." But Helen's like, "Call him."
Well, come on. Maybe it's fate.
Yeah,
she says something like that.
Destiny.
Maybe it's meant to be.
Yeah, maybe.
I kind of wish that there was a sequence where he met all these people that would solve all parts of his life at that time. I can regrow hair. And,
I bet a hair plugs guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I found somebody who can, fix my trauma with my dad. It was crazy. He was sat next to me on the airplane.
I met a mechanic. He can fix the van.
Exactly.
Cut to some filler.
Yeah, this is the POV of the smoke monster. I don't know if you knew.
I love that Sam Raimi directed this part of it.
Yeah. the old the film camera on the 2x4 and just running around with it. Yep,
exactly.
It's in Sam Raimi's style, but this is like Bob Raimi. It's not
Stan
quite.
Raimi. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We have the telltale sound effects, the roller coaster chain, the groaning, the whooshing, all of that. Seems like the smoke monster's just out for
just a stroll.
Yeah, it's just taking in the sights. Whatever. I don't know. Bombs past the barracks, and Iggy Pop is playing.
Yeah. I didn't know it was an Iggy Pop song. I was like, oh, this is a pretty good tune. And I was like, all I could think of was, man, I wanted this to be the style of song Drive Shaft was playing instead of You All Everybody, because I hate You All Everybody.
I thought it was one of those songs too. Yeah, exactly.
Drive Shaft absolutely needed to sound more like Iggy Pop and less like the fucking Gin Blossoms.
Yeah, right.
The machete, the shoes, the smoke, John Locke.
John.
Flock, as he is lovingly known by the Lost community at large and us here on the show. So, we've seen in later episodes of the pod, John Locke's always like, take us X time to get around. I gotta take. He can turn into smoke and just fly around, but only if the episode is too short.
Right, exactly. Unless he's trying to chase someone through the woods.
Then he's gotta walk and use his dumb human legs like a sucker.
Yep.
There's so many times where I'm sure it had, it would cost a lot of money in a television show VFX budget. The show was already super expensive. They're in season 6, but to transform him back and forth.
Sure.
If we had a bigger budget, it'd be cool to have, when he goes to punch somebody, it's like Sandman style. It turns into smoke and punches him across the whatever. I don't know. But yeah, it's always you either get Terry O'Quinn or smoke.mov.
They kind of saved money if they just didn't use that Iggy Pop song.
Yeah.
They could have used You All Everybody.
Yeah, that shit's
free.
That's
that's trademarked by the episode or the show. So.
Yeah.
So Flock grabs his machete and he's like, "Hey, my machete or a machete. It's probably mine. I'm sure I left it out here.
It's dope as hell.
Yeah." This will be great when I have to cut somebody out of a bag in about 10 seconds. So he goes over to a clearing and he cuts down a bag out of a tree. And I was like, ooh, he's got like some sort of cache of like, I don't know, smoke weapons or fucking more knives or whatever. No, it's Richard.
No, and Richard's usually pretty composed.
Yeah.
You know, even when folks are jumping in and on time, he's confused, but he's pretty well put together.
He puts up like he gives out like that air of calm and like collectedness, even if his mind is sort of like ducks in the pond with the feet going up.
Right.
Like he always projects this air of I'm in control.
Yeah, but in this instance, he looks fucking terrified. Yeah.
He's all beat up. Yeah, it's buck wild. Lost card comes through and we cut back to the Flash sideways. John Locke, working at the box company.
I saw him go to enter like in an office. I saw the first like binder. The guy walked behind him and I screamed to no one, if Randy Nations is in this, I'm going to kill myself. And then Randy Nations showed up and I screamed, no! So just know, I didn't say when, but just know that when it happens, it's because of this.
It's because of that, yeah. Randy Nations was John Locke's boss in the prime timeline in the flashbacks, and Randy Nations is still his boss here in the Flash sideways. So obviously, what's his face's theory from the other day that that this is heaven? That ain't true.
I mean, I don't know if you're fired by somebody who has a goatee. Isn't that like relief?
Well, okay, so let's get into it.
He looks like one of the he looks like a dickhead from an American Pie movie. Like he looks like one of the dickheads that like the four bros in the American Pie movie be like, I can't believe that guy crashed our party and stole our keg tap.
Yes, he does look like that. And yes, Randy has acted like that up to this point. However, I will say, in this episode, he's like, hey, my employee that I flew to the other side of the planet for a conference.
Yeah.
How was the conference?
Yeah.
I didn't go to the conference. I know you're fired. Pretty reasonable reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think any boss probably would have shit-canned him for that.
Like, John, you didn't go on the walkabout. Go to the conference.
The fact that he was like, listen, I didn't go and it was personal, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
Let's call it my vacation.
Yeah, what about your wedding?
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, but not that too.
Yeah. Even if it was my vacation, the company's not paying for your vacation. Round trip to Sydney, a week in a hotel, like
someone being so absolutely reasonable and doing their job correctly. Yeah. It was just hilarious that John Locke was like, oh man, like what a conflict I'm in right now.
Why can't you be cool about this, Randy?
Yeah. How many hours is this to fly from fucking LA to Australia? You didn't come up with a cover story?
Right. I punched the Secretary of Agriculture and got arrested. I can't believe that Locke thought that his attempt to keep his job was gonna work. Like I can't like in his heart of hearts he must have known.
For someone as calculated and as just have like the foresight of John Locke that we've known him to be, for him just to waltz in, I guess roll in, and just have nothing to back up his horrible lie and frauding of his company. Yeah. Hey, just leave it at his personal, right?
This is called.
But also, what company's only giving you 1 week of vacation for the whole year? That's fucking shitty.
Box company.
A shitty ass box company in Tustin, California.
Randy Nation is your boss.
Yeah.
Company.
Capitalism.
He probably got rid of the second week of vacation in the last union contracts, traded it for dental or something like that. Fucking bullshit.
Under capitalism, you're paid for your time, not for your effort. It's your responsibility to steal some time from your employer.
If they had just not paid for the Iggy Pop song, they could have had 2 weeks of vacation. So it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
This song is destroying this episode.
Damn, Mark, do you work in finance?
Known finance bro, Sam Mark. It breaks down the cost of licensing music from the 70s.
That's right.
Cut to the island. The man in black gives Richard a drink, and he tries to recruit him for what is his second chance, I guess, technically. But yeah, he's like, hey, man, you played the good soldier. Jacob never told you why you were doing any of this. You don't know why you're doing any of this. Don't you want to know? Don't you want to, something? Don't you want? And he's like, not bad enough to follow you. Like, my last boss told me that you were like the personification of pure evil. So I'm like, no, I don't want to rock with you, man. And man in black's like, like, all right, well, not everybody gets a second chance. Fucking see you later for sure,
nerd. But yeah, he does also bring up the fact, and again, I feel like this whole episode is just Man in Black making some pretty good points. All these years, literally like 100-something years, you've been working for Jacob, and he never told you what the plan was. Like, never. He's like, no. Don't you think that's weird, bud? I wouldn't do that to you.
It's an allegory for Christianity, and so I think we should talk more about it right now. Let's break it down.
Let's.
The 100,000 years of Christianity.
Yeah.
Cut to, I wrote the temple, but it's not the temple, it's the statue. Yeah, Alana's down there crying over the dead baggage handlers. Get fucked. Who cares?
So, Brahm?
Yeah.
You're mad? You're upset about Brahm being dead?
One less month,
Hey, Sam, do you even remember Brahm?
I don't.
You're living a better life than we are.
I only know Brahm as the company that makes bad jelly beans. So
yeah, it's just sad her friends are dead, and it's should have had better ash protection, I guess, or what. However, they ended up getting smoked, because that's what happened. They got smoked. Ben comes down. He's like, "Hey, what's going on? You feeling all right?" She's like, "What happened?" And he's like, "You're not gonna believe me."
Wouldn't believe me if I told you.
A sentient cloud of smoke killed everybody in here.
It was actually pretty sick.
I stabbed Jacob in the chest with a knife. That was also, I felt pretty badass. Sort of regretting it now.
Yeah.
And she just was like, yeah, okay. I accept that, Ben.
Yeah. Alana asks where Jacob's body is. Ben says he burned it. Man in Black kicked it into the fire and it burned up. So she scoops up some of the ashes and puts it in a bag and saves it for later. Cut to the barracks. Man in Black returns to the source of the music, goes inside. The place is all screwed up. But record player still works. Got an Iggy Pop record on there. Makes his way into the back, and Sawyer is in the bedroom in his underwear getting hammered.
Having a good time.
He's like, "What are you doing here? I thought you were dead, or you're murdered."
I am dead.
There's a commercial here, and we're continuous in the barracks. So, like, this is Dharma whiskey. We haven't really seen Dharma hard liquor. We've seen Dharma beer and Dharma
That's
wine.
true.
So it's pretty sick that Dharma is also like, "Hey, you know what? You want a little bit of something stronger? We'll hook you up. We'll put some Dharma whiskey in the pallet drop. Sure, why not? Everybody get
And there's
fucked
got to
up."
be like a lot of it because he is pouring tall glasses of whiskey.
He pours like 4 fingers in like 2 juice glasses.
Four fingers tall.
Thrusts one into the Man in Black's hands, like splashes all over.
He does the pouring where he doesn't even stop pouring from one cup
glass
to the
the
next.
other.
Just keeps on going.
Yeah.
That's some serious day drinking.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we got dehydrated food, we got canned food. How's our supply of whiskey? Like half the plane is whiskey.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's the first plane, right? Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That should last us the weekend. He's depressed. I don't remember why he's depressed.
Because Juliet's dead, and he talked to Kate about it.
That was weeks ago. Oh yeah, the sub doc. That's right.
Yeah,
and the ring. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sad Sawyer.
I mean, for what Sawyer's got going on, I mean, this is as good a plan as any. It's like, okay, well, I don't want to do any more island shit. I've been doing island shit for 3 years. I time traveled. I was in the Dharma Initiative. My girlfriend died. My ex-girlfriend's back. This is buck wild. So I'm just gonna throw on some tunes, have a couple of belts, and just see what happens next, I guess.
This was my favorite part because he just starts like basically listing all these like massive plot devices. He's like, plane crash, raft blew up, helicopter one too many, found out my wife was pregnant with my best friend, thought I was being promoted but I got fired, missed my flight on 9/11, all these things. And I just love that it's just so clear.
Yeah.
They canceled MASH.
Exactly. I missed the final episode of Seinfeld.
Flock is like, well, that stuff's all pretty. That's a lot of coincidences, wouldn't you say? Don't you want to know why you're here? Isn't that the most important question? And Sawyer's like, no, the most important question. I got 2 questions for you. 1, how do we get off the island? 2, get me off the island. Flock's like, come with me. I will show you why you're here. And Sawyer's like, sure, I don't have anything else going on.
I'm bringing my drink. He's Julian from Trailer Park Boys. He's just got a cocktail with ice cubes permanently in it that are clanking around.
He drinks 3 shots right there, And it seemingly, I made a note here that it's TV drinking because he is apparently already drank like a half bottle of whiskey. He has 3 more shots right here and does not seem intoxicated whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
He's both a tolerance at this point.
Yeah.
His plane crashed, his raft blew up, his helicopter was one too many.
Yeah.
He can drink as much as he wants.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
That's true.
He does deliver that line that I don't think that anybody in the world of acting and television movies can say without feeling as cool as it is from Sawyer, which is, well, I guess I better put some pants on. Just the like silliest of lines, but you're just like, yeah, I can get behind it. He's just he's that cool.
Yeah.
Cut to flash sideways. John's leaving work. He got fired. He's got his stuff in a box. I wonder if that was a company box. If they were like, here's a box for your stuff.
Oh.
Probably charge him for it.
Yeah. We'll take this out of your last check. He goes to get into the Astro van. There's a bright yellow H2 parked right next to him.
We know who that belongs to.
And he's like, all right, you asked for it. He opens the ramp, the thing, and he's going to slam into the car with the ramp, and the motor dies right before it's going to hit the...
It's so good.
It's such a bummer. He's like, come on, I want to fuck this thing
John
up.
was down on his luck. He was just fired. His car door won't open.
If you want to
Every
call
single
me,
thing.
baby, just
Exactly.
go ahead now.
Jungle Boogie.
He's mad that like the ramp didn't go off, so he like slaps the car, the alarm goes off, and Hugo comes out. He's like, hey man, why you hitting my car? And he's like, why? Learn how to park. He's like, I'm parked perfectly fine. It's just a huge car. You have a huge car. You've been driving an Astro van. These are 2 pretty large vehicles. Like,
Right, yeah. And he's like, well, hey, there's a handicap spot right there. And he's like, well, I don't have to park there. And it's like, you're right, but then you have to suffer the consequences of your own actions, John.
I know.
There's a whole area next to the handicap space that's painted that's not a parking space to allow clearance for mobility devices like a ramp.
Yeah.
There's this really like thick layered story plot device of just like, he is somebody who doesn't want to be told what he can and can't do.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we hammer that.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't make sense for the character. Let's keep doing that because it will bleed through with the man in the black later too. It's just so silly.
So we're going to get to it, but John's whole thing is like, I need to accept that I'm going to be wheelchair bound forever. That's, sort of the arc that he has with Helen in this. And it's like, okay, then start using the handicap spot. Then get a permanent wheelchair, not like the temporary hospital one.
Yeah,
it's like,
Yeah.
The episode gets him to the point where, okay, he's been thinking this, and the talking to Jack and calling was kind of the final straw, but he's taken none of the motions to get to there. So I don't know if we're supposed to see these moments of frustration that then lead him to that decision, or like it seems like it's been on his mind for a while.
Even if that car was a Miata, the ramp wouldn't have had enough clearance.
Hurley, the most casual non-actor of the whole show, shows up.
He's so great.
Yeah, Hugo's like, hey man, what's your scoop? He's like, I just got fired from this box company. Do you work here? He's like, I own the place. He's like, who fired you? Known dickhead Randy Nations. And he's like, that guy is a dickhead. Do you want me to talk to him? He's like, nah, man, working at a box company fucking sucks. I'm going to do something else.
Yeah. Also, I was justifiably fired.
Yeah, also, if you talk to him, you're going to find out that,
He's like, no, you don't talk to him. I won't talk to him.
Actually, don't talk to him. You're going to find out some shit you probably won't like.
Yeah, you think Randy's an asshole. Wait till you hear why I got fired.
He wasted how much money?
Yeah, wait till Hurley gets to like the expense report that he has to approve. And it's like, who's this John Locke son of a bitch?
Like, fuck is this guy?
Hugo also owns a temp agency. He owns a box company. He owns a temp agency. He owns a bunch of chicken restaurants. He owns whatever. He's the richest man alive.
He owns whatever is convenient for writer's sake.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, call this temp agency and they'll hook you up. Tell them Hugo sent you. And he's like, appreciate you, big man. Talk later. He's like, all right, later. Cut to the island. Frank and Son see Locke's body, and Frank is like, damn, this body stinks. And so sort of gives him a look like,
Yeah.
it's a body, Frank.
Yeah. I don't know what you want from me.
Alana comes out of the foot temple. Oh, God. Oh.
That's what I call my bedroom.
It's like I'm never calling it that again. Holy shit! Comes out of the Jacob's chamber and she's like, all right, pack up your shit. We're gonna go to the temple. Temple's safe place. And Son's like, why would we go there? Frank's like, do they have margaritas? If they do, I will go. And Ben's like, my bruise hurts.
And Alana's like, you're going to come with me because you want to find gin. And Frank was like, I also want to find gin. I will come with.
That's enough for Son. So she's like, oh, okay, shit, that's cool. But
Nate.
before they leave, they're like, well, we got to bury John. As Frank so aptly put, he's starting to smell. We can't just leave a body out here in the sun.
Yeah, you can. It's a big island.
We're about to leave. No. It's still going to stink if we leave. You know?
Yeah, like if a body rots on the beach and no one's around to smell it, does it still stink?
I do like that she suggests to bury John, and everyone kind of gives that look kind of like, oh, fucking Son. Like, God, like, I guess.
This is what separates us from the animals, I suppose.
It's like, we all know we should bury him, but if nobody says it, we have plausible deniability.
Right. Yeah, right.
Cut to the jungle. Sawyer and Locke are walking. Flock's asking him a bunch of questions, and Sawyer's like, don't talk to me. Did we mention it in the earlier scene that Flock saw the little boy?
We didn't, because it is filler.
Earlier, when he was talking to Richard, he saw a boy Jacob, and then he sees a boy Jacob here for the second time.
Bloody arm boy earlier, non-bloody arm now.
Yeah, the difference here is that Richard couldn't see the boy, and Sawyer does see the boy, and he's like, who the hell is that? He's like, you can see that? He's like, this is a boy. This is this kid. So Locke chases him through the jungle.
Does not turn into smoke.
Yes.
Chases him.
This primordial smoke machine shift-changing god is like, I'll use these human legs.
On these refurbished ass legs.
Trips in the jungle after a child.
You know, you wouldn't have tripped if you were a cloud of smoke.
Yeah.
And you've lived with Jacob for a long time. You know he can't turn into smoke.
Also, just flip him the bird and be done. What?
Yeah.
You killed him.
Yeah.
You won.
Like, my daughter is very fast for being 2 years old, but I can still chase her down.
Right,
okay?
yeah, you can still catch her. If somebody was going to bet me who would win in a foot race between you and your 2-year-old daughter, like...
I don't know, man. You've seen her 40-yard sprint. It's, frankly, scary.
I was like, she is the child of an athlete. I've played wiffle ball with this man, and he's got power.
That is a glowing review of athleticism right there. I guess play wiffle ball with this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He can step on one of those rubber bases so quickly, you know.
Flock catches up to boy Jacob. Yeah, after he trips, and Jacob's like, you remember the rules. And I guess that's what Jacob's here to do. He's here to remind the man in black that there are rules and that he can't break them. So one of the rules is the man in black, he can't kill the candidates, but he doesn't like that rule because he shouts, don't tell me what I can't do.
Now, is that because of the man in black, or is that because of his embodiment of John Locke?
Good question.
Yeah, it'd be funny if it was like a knee jerk, like the body is just like, don't tell me what I can't do, and the man in black's like, sorry, there's still some residual Locke insecurities stuck inside
Loose
this.
John Locke in me, yeah.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that's like, that rule kind of makes this fun. I kind of like that rule. Can't kill him directly, so I'm going to find a way for him to fall off a cliff. I didn't do it.
Man in Black's over here making Rube Goldberg machines.
If he wants to kill them, but he can't, why is he helping Sawyer later?
The short answer to that question is he wants to kill all of them all at once.
He just wants a convenience thing?
It's like a Six Sigma sort of like efficiency thing, you know?
Yeah. Like don't commit 6 murders. Do over 6 days. Do 6 murders on one day.
You know all those horror movies where there's a serial killer? Not into it. I like it when they all die at the same time.
Over there, Sawyer's like, Locke, where the fuck? And Richard comes barreling into the thing. He's like, whoa, relax. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Why are any of us here? Why is that the first question we always ask whenever we see somebody else in the jungle? What are you doing here? It's like, yeah, I'm doing the same thing you are. Nothing. Hanging out. Island shit. I don't know. Richard's like, you're looking for Locke? Because that's not Locke. That's somebody else. And Sawyer's like, I know. He's like, all right. So, like, come with me then. We'll go to the temple. We're not going to hang out with not Locke. And Sawyer's like, I don't want to go to the temple. And I don't care that it's not Locke. And Richard's like, that's nuts. That guy is a bad guy. He's the bad guy. He's the bad guy. Capital T, capital B, capital G.
Guy. Yeah.
The bad guy for the show. And Sawyer's like, no. And then Locke starts returning. So Richard's like, oh, well, I tried. Fuck.
I heard a stick snap. You better get out of here.
And that's the thing. Like, man, when you're outdoors, you can hear people for quite a ways.
Who are you talking to? No one.
No one.
Fucking Richard, you can see it. He's
He's
20
right
feet over there.
He's running away. Did you catch the boy? What boy? Oh, so we're just lying now? Okay.
Oh, yeah, fine.
Lead the way.
Yeah. Part of Richard's warning is like, that guy's going to try and kill you. So, like, whatever. Cut to flash sideways. Locke interviews at the temp agency with I wrote here in my notes, weird lady.
Yeah.
So she's like, what type of animal are you? Would you consider yourself a peaceable person? There's like these personality questions. And he's like, can I see your manager, please?
Right.
She like gets huffy and she's like, yes, you can.
What an opportunity to pull literally anyone from the hundreds of fucking cast members we've had on this show.
Right.
Like, could have been Libby, could have been
Cindy.
Rousseau.
Could be Rousseau. Yeah. Well, Rousseau's a stay-at-home mom.
She's staying at home, kids in high school.
Rousseau's about to get digged down by Ben.
Yeah, there we go.
That's a full-time job.
Anyways.
Should have been J.J. Abrams, for real.
Yeah. Hey.
That would have been great.
Mr. Echo.
Yes.
But yeah, so like she's like, yeah, I'll go get my manager, and like then we wait for the manager to turn up, and it's Rose.
But she does it in this like smarmy way, like, oh, I'll get the manager.
Right. As though she's not being dumb. Like,
or like he passed on to level 2 or something. Like
it was such an odd beginning to this scene.
What was stopping that woman from just being like, I'm the manager.
Right.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, you're in a temp agency. Who are you to tell me who you can talk to or not? You need a job. Stop being a dick.
Answer these questions. Just like, I don't care if you lie. Just say something and we'll move on to the next part. Like, Hurley Corp makes us ask this shit because he's irreverent. Like,
you want to speak to the manager? I want to speak to whoever sold you that shirt with that tie. Next question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so her manager is Rose, and she's like, yeah, that lady's weird and annoying. I don't know why we let her interview people.
She's a temp, actually. God damn it, they're good.
That would make way more sense if they just said that.
Sorry, she's a temp.
We just hired her as a temp to hire temps, so...
She came in and I asked her, what kind of animal are you? And she said a snake. So we were like, oh, that makes you the new interviewer for the temp agency.
That's what I also wrote down. So great. We're all on the same page. Yeah.
That's so fucking good.
Hey, you know what? Maybe they couldn't afford another cast member because they spent all that money on fucking Iggy Pop.
Yeah. If you listen closely during that part, you can actually hear it very softly in someone's headphones in the background. Yeah.
Right.
I was told I could listen to the radio at a reasonable volume from line 9 to 11.
In this scene, like, just lays on this line so thick. And this is also after John Locke is just being like an absolute dick.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm crippled. Like, how dare you speak to me? What do you know about pain? And she's like, I'm dying. Yeah. I'm literally dying.
I'm literally dying of cancer. Terminal cancer.
You're in a temp agency. Yeah. Why are you telling people this heavy stuff?
Dude, yeah.
So that you can convince this jerk that he should probably just accept any job.
Right. And quit being a jerk.
Trying to help him with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. She's like, all right, let's get you a job. He's like, hey, I saw a construction site rep here. And she's like, I don't know, man.
You have to be able to walk at a construction site there, Johnny.
Like, the building that they're making will eventually be ADA compliant. The site itself is going to be a lot of not ADA compliant stuff. She's like, you know what? He gets all huffy. He's like, I can do whatever I want. She's like, fine, I'll give you the job. And then they're going to fuck shit can you because you can't do anything at the construction site and you're going to be back here tomorrow. And I'm going to give you a different job. So let's just find you a job where you don't have to come back here.
What animal are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, just now answer the question. What animal are you? Yeah, he talks about the wheelchair. She tells him about her cancer, and then she uses it as this talking point. She's like, you need to just accept your own reality. Whatever your reality is, accept it and then live the life that you have been presented. And that's actually going to end up making you happier than dwelling on the fact that you don't have the life that you used to have, or even that you maybe wanted. You might realize that whatever life you have, it's worth living.
Right.
She got to live it.
Yeah.
She decided to get to living by being the manager of a temp job agency for the unemployed.
Yeah. That's how I'm spending my final days.
Exactly.
Yeah, when I got to the end of the scene, I was like, I would not be working if I were her.
No.
I would be
Nope.
anywhere else.
I would be on a beach.
Yeah.
Earning 20%.
20%. cut to the jungle. Sawyer explains to Flock that his favorite book is Of Mice and Men because it ends with a murder. And
is that what he says?
He's like, I thought he was gonna be like, "Am I Lenny? Are you bringing me out here to kill me?"
You think I'm stupid? That's exactly what I thought he was going with that too.
But it's not.
Nope. It's also another story where someone gets shot in the back. Foreshadowing for 4 more seconds. You know.
Do you think it would help if I put my hand into a glove full of Vaseline?
I gotta find a mouse around here somewhere to squeeze.
I've just been choking all these chickens.
Yeah.
He pulls a gun on the man in black and he's like, "What are you? What's your fucking deal?"
I know you're not Locke.
Yeah. And Flock's like, I'm not Locke. I'm just in Locke's body. He gives him another sales pitch. I didn't write it down. I just wrote down that it's another sales pitch.
Basically, like that I can give you answers, or I have the answers to the questions, or something like that.
Yeah. And he gives him the thing too. He's like, "Well, shoot me. Let's see what happens when you shoot me." Like,
right.
And again, the thing I was stuck on, and maybe this is me, but like Sawyer should be so drunk right now.
Yeah.
Like he should be like
he should be dehydrated.
Yeah.
Super drunk.
Sweaty. His head
vomiting
hurts.
everywhere. Yeah.
Just like, hey, John Locke, how much you read Mice and Men?
What about jugs?
Let's go to KFC. The man in black convinces him it works. His sales pitch works. Sawyer continues to follow him. Cut to the beach. They arrive at Survivor Beach. Frank's son, Alana Ben, and John Locke's body, and they arrive at the graveyard. But you see, they brought him to Survivor Beach to bury him here, next to his dear friends Nikki and Paulo and fucking Libby.
And all the horny spiders.
Yeah. And so they dig a 2.5 foot grave and they toss him in. And Alana's like, "Well, somebody want to say something?" And
didn't any of you know him? Yeah, we do. It was a complicated fucking relationship.
It was weird. He was the bad guy, then he was our friend and ally, and then like he wasn't our friend, but he was still a good dude. And like he was I don't know. It was weird. So Ben's like, "Yeah, I knew him. I got some shit to say." It's like he was a good man, a better man than I will ever be or ever hope to be. And I'm real sorry that I murdered him.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then 0 reactions from everybody there.
Yeah.
And then, like,
there's one.
Frank has a reaction.
Well, Frank has a reaction, but it's like sarcastic again, where it's just like, "Oh boy," like I can't remember what he said now. But
This is the weirdest funeral I've ever been to.
Yeah, like
Best part of the episode.
It's like you're wearing a pilot shirt. Like it was pretty weird to start with.
he just admitted murder, and everyone's just like, "Well, we should probably get on with our lives."
Yeah, I wonder if it doesn't bother them because they're like, "Well, we know Ben kills people." So so it turns out he killed John Locke too. All right.
Yeah, that's
fine. That's the eulogy, and they bury him, and that's the end of that scene. Cut to flash sideways. John Locke is getting ready for work. I wrote down he was getting ready for work because like nobody gets dressed like that if they're not going to work.
He's probably keeping up appearances because he hasn't admitted that he's got fired yet.
Yeah, that's true. So like he's still getting ready for work. He doesn't have any work to get ready for, but he is doing that. He finishes like getting dressed, brushing his teeth, whatever, and then he sees Jack's card and he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna give him a call. Give him a call. Pulls out his cell phone.
About that card. So I paused it and looked at it real hard.
Oh, we're gonna talk about this fucking card.
It's a bad business card. There's 3 numbers on it. One of them is like, I can't remember what the last number is now. It was called like
office, sell, and exchange.
Yeah, exchange, which I didn't know what that meant. But the exchange, there's a typo in that number. They all have like hyphens at the end of it, except for that one.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what freaking spinal surgeon looked at this card? He's like, "Yeah, this is good. Let's make 100 of them. No, 500 of them."
Also, the heart at the top with the cross for it's Saint. And then this graphic of a heart with a cross, Sebastian Hospital, but it's black on black. So it just looks like there's too much kerning between Saint and Sebastian.
Thank you.
There's 9 spaces. Like there's no emboss. There's no nothing. There's no cut.
The graphic designers listening to this podcast right now are celebrating in their cars or quiet place in their home.
The spacing is all over the place. It's just
I did not have the same reaction to that card as you. I had a different reaction. I looked at it and I was like, I wonder what that address is. And so I Googled 844 Wilshire Boulevard.
So did I.
what is it?
It's a theater, the Saban Theater in Beverly Hills. But right next door, there is a building that could be like an office building. It's certainly not a hospital.
No, he does it like
outpatient.
Phantom of the Opera style, where he has like a secret room where he does all his spinal surgeries.
Yeah.
He still plays the music from Iggy Pop, though, in that setting. So.
Do a search and destroy on the organ.
Find the reason why your spinal is bad. Search and destroy.
He hangs up. He's like, you can't help me. And he hangs up. And, yeah, Helen comes in. Who was that? Nobody. It's like, I saw you on the phone. What do you mean nobody?
Could have just said it was a telemarketer.
Yeah, wrong number. Like, that's the easiest. Who was it? Wrong number. I don't know.
John Locke has proven he can't think on his feet in this episode, so.
He can't think on his ass either.
Yeah. That too. Can't think on his legs. Can't think on his knees.
Got him.
I feel a little bit bad about making jokes about John Locke being in a wheelchair. But, like.
He's not real, Adam.
Well, and it's not played seriously at all. Like, the first time we see him, he falls out of the thing and gets sprayed in the face with the fucking laundry.
He's already a joke.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm not doing any of that. I got fired. And she's like, what? And then there's a knock at the door. She goes and tends to the door. So the courier service, Oceanic, found his luggage and brought it back to the house. So she wheels it in, and he's sitting there, and he's going to break it down for her. So she's like, what happened? He explains.
Open the case.
Yeah, open the case. She's like, are you going to kill me?
So many knives.
You're going to have to catch me first. And she runs away. God damn it. He's like, so I got fired because I took a vacation on the company's dime to go do a walkabout. They sent me to Sydney to go to the box conference.
Biggest box conference in the world.
It's a global box conference.
Sydney, Australia.
All the greats were there for the box in the box industry, and I decided not to go. I was like, I'm gonna go walkabout. And they wouldn't let me. And I freaked out. I had a big freak out at the thing because they were like, you can't go on the walkabout. You're in a wheelchair. Be realistic about what your scoop is. I freaked out and I came home and they realized the thing and so they got fired. And I recently have come to the conclusion that I do need to accept what my deal is. I hung up on the lady because I'm going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. And I'm not going to pretend that that's not my life anymore. I'm going to try and just like live my life. And if you need me to keep trying to get out of the chair, well, it's not going to happen, and I'm sorry. Oh, he says he's not going to get out of the chair because there's no miracles. There's no such thing as miracles, whatever.
Right.
She comes over to him and she says, there are miracles, John, and the only thing that I was ever waiting for was you.
Oh.
And then they kiss.
Helen, you could do so much better.
There were so many knives in that box.
Yeah.
Like, can we just talk about the walkabout where he needs 15 different types of knives?
On a walkabout, you're supposed to have the one knife.
It was like he was a magician. He was like, like, this is my magician box, and I'm gonna actually pierce the box with me inside of it.
Yeah,
but it works just fine because I can't feel anything below the waist. You know, that's my trick. But
it's like the Halliburton case where it's like, why does this one guy need 9 guns? Yeah. Why does John Locke need so many knives?
How did Lost Luggage not look at that like X-ray and be like, what is this?
Yeah, it's like your luggage didn't get lost. We confiscated that, you nut bar. Like,
yeah. You owe us money now.
You tried to carry this on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. There are different purposes for different types of knives. You have a fixed blade, you have a folder, you have a utility knife, whatever. But yeah, walkabout, like the idea is you and your wits. And
right,
like a knife. Yeah, like there was the one big knife in there that had the serrated back and was like 8 inches long. I was like, that's the knife. That's the knife that you should bring along. Yeah. All the other little ones you might lose.
I feel like he was just going to throw them. That's why he needed so many of them.
Right, because he's not going to be able to like run.
He's not going to be able to like get close up to it. He's just going to have to use his wrists.
Maybe he's got that cool knife that the Klingons got. That's got the 2 little knives that pop out when you hit the button.
Doc Tong.
Yeah. He definitely has that in there because there's so many knives in that suitcase.
He's got like that iridescent painted knife that you can buy like a mall kiosk.
Yeah.
He has the one from Hot Shots Part 2 where he like pulls the electric string. It's a little chainsaw.
Pull start out. Yeah. Yeah.
Sick. Yeah. Too many knives.
Look at all these knives. Who do you think you are, Carter Wadle?
Got him.
Cut back to the island, and this is just filler, but we needed some moment of tension in this episode, so we did a ladder stunt scene.
It's kind of a sick stunt.
It's pretty good.
Pretty great.
Did not need to be in the episode.
Yeah. Imagine if that cave was just at like up by the trees.
I know. I feel like they could have scaled it in a little bit easier way. I also felt like it was pretty convenient, all the ladders that were there. Like, who put those there? Was that a Man in Black side project one day?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I have this cave, but I don't know how to get to it.
If only I was an amorphous blob of smoke that could just fly.
Yeah, they climb down this rickety ass ladder, and the ladder collapses, and Flock saves Sawyer from falling, and it's all fine. And as soon as they got down, it's like, how are they going to get back up? That ladder got fucked.
Oh, good point.
That is exactly my question. And I was like, well, I guess they're just in that cave now.
Yeah.
Unless that cave goes somewhere.
It has a back entrance where you can just walk out. Yeah, like. Yeah, so they get in the cave, and there's this little scale with a black and white rock on it, and the Flock whips the white rock out in the ocean, and Sawyer's like, what was that on? It's like, it's an inside joke. My brother's dead. They go deeper into the cave, and Flock is like, this is why you're here. And on the walls of the caves are hundreds of names, or 108 names, and they're all written in chalk, and a bunch of them are scratched out. There's a few left. Reyes, Jarrah, Quan, Ford, Shepard, and they all have a corresponding number. One of the numbers 4, 8, 15, 22,
16, 23, 42.
Yep. Yeah. And these are Jacob's candidates to replace him as the protector of the island. And these people have been eliminated for various reasons. They died, or they were deemed not worthy, or whatever. And so because Sawyer is one of the candidates and he's still not crossed off, he's got 3 options. 1, do nothing. Sold.
Yeah. Done.
I have 3 options. No. You're good.
You want me to say the other ones? Nah, man. I was already doing nothing. You dragged me down here to do something, and I was blasting Iggy, getting hammered on Dharma whiskey. I was already doing nothing.
I was having a pretty great time.
Pretty good. Option 2, take the job. Although technically it's not mine to give you. Take the job and protect the island. Protect it from what? Nothing. The island's the island. It's like, you're lying, but...
So this all happens, and he talks about how, like, Jacob touched all of you at some point in your life, yada, yada, yada. We did skip a quick flash sideways.
There's a brief flash sideways in the middle of this whole cave thing. We cut back to Washington Tustin High School, where Mr. John Locke has become a substitute teacher, and he is teaching gym class and health class.
And to find his way around the school, he aggressively grabs students by their arms. Like, hey you. I'm outside the school. Tell me where I need to go inside.
Yeah. He just points in the direction he's already going. It's over there. Thank you. Oh. When he's sitting down at the desk and he's like, all right, everybody, pull out your books. We're going to talk about pussy.
The reproduction system.
It could have been any subject.
We're doing jokes this episode. This is a comedy episode. Jokes. Sprinkler in the face, collapsy ladder. It'll be a laugh a minute.
John Locke had it all. He was a substitute teacher at his school, but he had to teach reproduction.
John got
Exactly.
And so, he accosts a child for directions to the teacher's lounge, and then arrives at the teacher's lounge, and there is a man in there with a very recognizable voice ranting about the coffee machine. He's like, if you make coffee, throw the filter away. I'll make a new pot. Don't worry. It's no big deal. You know nobody's putting me out.
My name is Henry Gale. I'm from Minnesota.
I love hot air balloons.
As soon as I'm finished making the coffee, I'm going to go back and teach intro to a hot air balloon. Yeah, Locke rolls up to him. He's like, hey, I just want some Earl Grey tea. And he turns around, and it's Nerd Ben. His hair is flat, and he's got his little spectacles, and he's like, Earl Grey tea. Now that's a gentleman's drink.
Is it?
It's like the most basic ass tea.
I don't really drink that much tea, but I just thought that was such a weird line.
I don't know, when you ask for tea at a restaurant, they bring you the tin with the 5 fucking flavors, and that's always one of them.
But he says it in such a way where it's like it should have some sort of tie in to something from another episode before, but it doesn't.
No.
Instead of doing coffee, he's like, people, wash your dishes. I'm not going to wash another knife for another person.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's right there. But yeah, he introduces himself. He's like, hi, I'm fucking Ben. I teach whatever. And he's like, I'm Locke. I teach about fucking. What do you think put me in this wheelchair?
It was very much like, remember this person from the show? And now they're not that person anymore?
So in the cave, the man in black gives Sawyer, tells him what his three choices are.
Yeah.
He's like, how could I be a candidate? I don't know Jacob. He's like, you absolutely met Jacob. I don't know where, I don't know when, but probably when you were young and when you were vulnerable. And he started manipulating you. I was like, oh, okay, cool. He manipulated by being nice to a child at a funeral. Time to Jack, 37 minutes, 46 seconds.
Holy moly.
Jack appears in archival footage from that episode where Jacob touched everybody.
Ugh. Hey, could you say that any other fucking way?
Nothing's coming to mind.
He touched them deeply. Yeah.
Ugh.
He touched a couple of them when they were children, and a couple of them as adults.
I'm jumping off the call.
This is your podcast.
Not anymore. It's yours. It's your problem now, Sam.
Oh, great.
There's not much more left.
So option 3. Option 1, do nothing, which Sawyer was already doing. Option 2, take the job, which the man in black can't give him technically. Option 3, let's get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
I've been trapped my whole, I can't even remember being free. I'll get out of here. Let's get out of here. And Sawyer's like, that's a decent one. How do we get out of here? And if you answer this question with some sort of esoteric, non-actual plan answer, I'm gonna throw myself off a cliff. And Flock is like, together. That's how we do it. And Sawyer runs out of the cave and throws himself into the ocean.
That's when he pukes up all the Dharma whiskey.
Yeah. He's like, I'm actually too drunk for this.
I just realized how drunk I am and that I just had this harrowing experience with some fucking rope ladders.
So yeah, Flock says, well, what do you say, James? Are you ready to go home? Hell yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lost. The substitute. The substitute has several meanings in this episode, primarily amongst them, John Locke has a job as a substitute. And then there were some other ones. I don't remember what they were.
Don't you have to get a certification to be a substitute teacher?
Nah, you just have to go to Temp agency and tell them that your favorite kind of animal is a frog.
Oh.
You know who knows a lot about substitute teachers? Is Jeff Leidenkoder. Because that guy hires him for his school district, and he deals with that stuff all the time. And yeah, you have to be trained.
Because he's never in class, because he's always out having rope ladder adventures.
Exactly.
All right. Did we like it? Was it good? That's what we're here to answer. You can like something that sucks. You can hate something that rules. Sam, please start us off for the substitute. What'd you think?
You know what? I liked it because
Sure.
we got some smoke monster with some pretty solid Sawyer scenes, pretty ridiculous John Locke moments. You know, and I think that like burying John Locke as a character is a pretty pivotal point in the show, even if there was zero emotion about it. Yeah, I'd probably give it a solid 7.
Nice.
Okay.
Out of 7.
A 20. So yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good. JP, what do you think?
Yeah, not my favorite. It was a lot of filler. A lot of filler, man. I think I've said before, I'm not the craziest on the season 6 Flash Sideways stuff. This is all moving pieces into place for season 6 to, you know, have a big finale. But there was like no momentum. The coolest thing was the rope ladder stunt, and you know, there's no way that Sawyer dies that way. So like,
Yeah, so I wrote that down as a zero stakes moment.
right.
Yeah.
Precisely. Adam.
Yeah, I was all right with it. There was some cool stuff in it that I liked. There was a lot of filler, but like the stuff that wasn't filler, I thought was pretty good. Like I liked Ben's eulogy. I liked the last Helen scene where she was like, "The only thing I ever wanted was you." You know, Randy Nations is a piece of shit, and that was great.
Was it?
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, like the stuff that wasn't boring, I thought was pretty good. So I'm gonna give it a B.
Okay. Well, then let's hand out some awards, shall we?
Yeah,
the
let's do
Lost
it.
MVP. Who's your favorite? Who gets the gold star? Who's on top of that podium? Sam, start us off with your MVP. Your favorite person, place, thing, idea, concept, moment. What was the highlight of this episode for you?
I feel like I had a lot of people up at the top of the for awards. Sure. I think Iggy Pop is in
yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know, the song Search and Destroy, like, it has an allegoric, you know, sort of theme to that, the Man in Black, and that I liked that, you know, part of it. I think Sawyer is pretty solid in this. He's very Sawyer in this episode, whether he's not drunk or is drunk. And, you know, I think that's just kind of who Sawyer is that whether he's angry or sad or drunk or, you know, happy, he's still Sawyer, and he'll never change in that sense. Yeah. But I do think that the one person that wasn't talked enough about in this episode that I think really deserves a lot of credit is the guy who denied John Locke the walkabout. Because imagine if this guy let this guy go on a walkabout with a box full of knives and a wheelchair, and they're like, well, what happened to that guy in the wheelchair? He's like, I'll let him go in.
Yeah.
He went in. He never came back. He was in a wheelchair. I don't know what anybody expected.
He's like, Garrett, that's a liability. We can't have a guy in a wheelchair and a walkabout.
Right.
Yeah, but he was really convincing.
Yeah. He told me I couldn't tell him what he can't do. And I was like, I'm going to adopt that as my own personal mantra.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me what I can't do. If I want to send a guy on in a wheelchair on a walkabout, I'm going to do it.
There's too many double negatives.
But I think, in all honesty, I think Helen's performance, Kate Sagal's performance in this, as small as her role was phenomenally well done. Even if some of the scenes seemed like she just walked out of an episode of Sons of Anarchy with what her outfit was wearing, but I think Katie Sagal can't do wrong. She was pretty phenomenal for her very limited role in this episode.
Sure. All right. The walkabout guy / Helen / Iggy Pop.
Correct.
/ Sawyer. JP.
I have to do 2.
Okay.
I have to do 2, and I know that's sort of breaking protocol, but I have to. I also just need to sing Helen's praises. I think I've loved Helen as a character in the show. I thought her performance was great. I think that her love for a mediocre man is just so
inspiring.
So inspiring, and it gives me hope that the woman who I'm about to marry will continue to love a mediocre man. I can't believe I'm going to say this, though.
Oh, my God.
Randy Nations.
Randy Nations. Yay.
Listen, he's in the right.
Yeah.
Hugo's out here just letting whatever happen. Oh, John Locke, you want to fucking go to Australia? Because he keeps winning more money and he can't be broke. Like, Randy's actually doing his job and he's getting fucking flack for it, sure. But he's following up. He contacted the organization. He contacted some guy. He found out when the dinner reservations. Like, all this shit. He's doing the job. So, yeah, you know what? Fucking at least someone's doing their job around here. Randy Nations.
Randy Nations.
I still want to kill myself for seeing his stupid face, though.
It's the facial hair for me. I can't believe that men walk around like that or did walk around like that.
And,
like,
his haircut. Yeah.
It's all real buck wild. It's all very early 2000s.
Ugh.
He looks like he should be an alien ant farm.
Oh,
yes.
I fucking love Alien Ant Farm, though.
Great reference.
He looks like he's in a Static X cover band. Adam.
So like Helen's like a literal angel.
Yeah. She's great.
Her wardrobe, like the only primary difference between her and Gemma is that she wears like pink in this show, and where Gemma almost always wears black. But yeah, the jeans, I was like, those are Gemma jeans. The patience of a saint, loves her man, wants him to be happy, just wants to be happy herself. She's so nice. I love Helen.
She's great.
I love her so much.
She's awesome.
I can't believe that she hasn't been in the show more.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Helen's getting a lot of points on the board here today, so that's awesome. That's awesome. But there is a flip side to this bit. The Lost Forever. King Suck a Shit Mountain. Who's out here fucking up? Sam, start us out with your Lost Forever.
You know, I do want to say it's the first temp recruiter initially.
Sure, yeah.
But I still feel like it's Rose.
Rose
goes, listen, buddy, I'm gonna die, so you have nothing to worry about. Like, your
that is
problems
pretty buck wild.
are pretty stupid. So to just take this substitute teacher job, live your life, and stop complaining that you can still live.
You know how we were bitching earlier about why they should have got somebody to be the first recruiter that was like a reference to something earlier in the show and was like, you know, any like some sort of lost lore or something like that.
Yeah.
Lynn Karnoff is the character's name. She was a woman who posed as a fortune teller to Hurley in the episode Trisha Tanaka is Dead. She's the fucking fortune teller that Cheech hired to tell Hurley that it's the same actress. And it's playing the same character. So they did do what we asked. They just didn't get anybody memorable.
What if it was just Trisha Tanaka? I'd recognize her. She's a babe.
Trisha Tanaka, yeah, that would have been great.
Also, whoever designed Jack Shepard's business card, I hated as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Sam. Fuck yeah. Perfect.
Very good. JP, what do you think? Lost Forever.
Sideways Locke.
Sideways Locke.
I don't get it, man. I don't fucking get it. He's got a much better life, and he's still finding ways to like self-sabotage and complain and like not better himself and just kind of be shitty. You got Helen, dude. Quit fucking up. Adam.
Alana.
Ugh.
Like, I'm suffering from Boone syndrome with Alana.
Oh, yeah.
We saw her in a later chronological episode, but a much earlier episode of the podcast that sometime in the near future, she's going to explode herself with dynamite. So I don't care what she's up to now at all. so like, Alana.
Also, that whole crew functionally does nothing.
They have one thing like to do in season 6, and that's like make their way to the Hydra, and that takes them like 12 episodes, 13 episodes. Like that's the through line of Frank's son Ben.
Yeah.
Like they're just like walking slowly somewhere, and looking for Jin, I guess, hypothetically. Alana,
aren't we all?
Yeah.
Sam.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
So, thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh, man. This was a blast.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This really was. I have loved how you guys bring your friends from college and talk about a random episode of Lost. I think it's just the niche is so perfect, and I wanted to be part of it, and I'm honored to be a friend who could be invited and to be begged to be on the show and to not be thrown into the streets.
We should have had you on sooner. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Oh, fatherhood. It's real fun.
Okay.
It is. I love my daughter. I love being a father. I guess I could plug one thing for people in Los Angeles. I was part of an improv group called Air Force Fun.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
They're a good group of people. But I guess I would plug the comedy theater that I used to go to in Los Angeles.
Totally.
Called MI's West Side Comedy Theater in Santa Monica. Really great sketch, stand-up, improv stuff there. Chris Gorbos, one of the owners, great guy. He saved that place amongst the other owners during COVID, and where a lot of places shuttered, they thrived and kept it open. So
awesome.
Nice.
It's one of the great places. So other than that, check out Lost on Lost on all your devices in which you listen to podcasts.
Unless you're Nick Brando and you get it on record.
Yeah, your Zune.
Oh, man. Speaking of Lost on Lost, hey, Adam, what are we watching next time?
Great question. 2 weeks from now, if you want to be lost with us, come on back. A couple weeks from now, we're going to be talking Cabin Fever, season 4. Episode 11. And for all you Carrie Russell heads out there, we have a very special guest coming. That we are having as our guest the host of Finding Felicity, a podcast about Felicity and growing up and love and some other stuff. One, Teresa Giacino is going to be coming to the show and hanging out with us and talking to John Locke, Cabin Fever.
We're cross-pollinated with other podcasts. This is what big-time podcasts do. We need to stop doing it.
Yeah, we network. We talk with other podcasters. We talk about podcasting.
It's synergy.
Yeah,
it's a hybrid strategy.
Just trying to get people to buy supplements.
So yeah, that's what's up next time. Coming back a couple of weeks for that. It'll be a blast.
Awesome. Yeah, well, again, Sam, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Absolute blast. Adam, thank you, as always.
Thank you,
and hey, everybody out there, thank you for tuning into another episode of Lost on Lost.
I'm Adam.
I'm JP.
Do you have any idea what's going on the show?
No.
Me neither. Lost on Lost is produced and edited by me and JP.
We wish to acknowledge that we live, work, and produce our show on occupied land.
Burbank, California is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Tongva, Chumash, Kizh, and Fernandino Tataviam peoples.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Peoria, Potawatomi, Miama, and Ho-Chunk peoples.
And Lost was produced in Hawaii on the lands of the Kanaka Maoli.
Visit native-land.ca to learn more about the land you live and work on.
You can engage with us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Lost on Lost 1.
You can also email us at wearelostonlost@gmail.com or support us with dollar monies at coffee.com/wearelostonlost.
Thanks to Lostpedia and its community of contributors, Danny Schmitz, random.org, and as always, you the listeners for tuning in.
We're hosted at Podbean. You can hear us there or wherever you get your podcasts, except MySpace. We're not on MySpace.
Yet.